Thank you for joining us today, and I have with me acclaimed, esteemed author, Brian Samo Ross. Thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
And
My pleasure.
you have been in Hawaii, a long-term resident?
23 years.
That's great. 23
years.
And you come with a lot of wisdom and knowledge into your books that you're
Thank
writing.
you. Thank you. Thank
Wonderful.
you.
So you wrote a book,
Mm-hmm.
and it's called Talking to God Without Calling Long Distance, which I love the title. And when did you write that? That was about 10 years ago?
This is a few years ago. There's the writing process, and then there's the editing process. And the writing actually didn't take that long because it was downloaded from Spirit at 3 a.m., from 3 to 5 a.m. in the middle of the night. I always say I got woken up hearing these very quiet but beautiful words inside of my head, and I had to go to my computer, otherwise I wouldn't be sleeping. So I wrote that, and over the space of a few weeks, the information was created. But then I needed to edit it and fine-tune it and all that, so that took a while.
And was this questions that you were asking inside your
No.
head, or was it
No.
people coming to you and asking questions?
No,
or
this was just
came to you
suddenly, I had been doing spiritual counseling, and I'd been opening up kind of those channels, sort of the intuitive channels, and for whatever reason, God decided, Spirit decided, now's the time, we're going to download this information to you. And I wasn't expecting it. I've been a writer all my life, so it's not surprising that it came that way as a book. But I hadn't really planned on writing this book.
Great.
Yeah.
And you're working on a new project right now.
I'm working on a new project. It's another book called, the focus is going to be on loving, acceptance, and forgiveness.
So do you think from your first book to this book, this topic came up because a lot of people are, having a hard time on themselves and not forgiving themselves for their learning lessons?
Yeah.
Or how did this topic come about?
It's really through my spiritual teachers also in my own self-development as I've been over the few years, my own spiritual, I'll call it spiritual growth, even though spiritual growth is really a taking away, simplifying your life, simplifying your processes. That it came down to one of the most core things we need to do is to love ourselves, accept ourselves, and forgive ourselves.
And do you think that's a topic that's really needed right now
for
people to be able to move on to the next level?
Yeah, I do. I think it's and when I talk about it with my counseling clients, it seems to really resonate.
That's great, and it's nice that you do private sessions and
private
coaching
sessions
with people and counseling.
Mm-hmm.
And so that helps to get some ideas for the book, because if you hear the same common theme being asked, all the time.
Oh my God, yes.
so you have a lot of text and things from your clients.
Yeah, people, they'll word it in their own way, but it's usually going to come down to issues with relationships, issues with money, issues with career, self-worth. There's a person's self-image. And their spiritual, their connection to spirit. What is it? What is life all about? What is it? Why are we here even? What's it? And with the world being so chaotic right now, and everything seems to be in some ways falling apart, but it's not really falling apart. It's just, it's just that, the puzzles have been thrown out to pieces, and now we've got to put them back in a different way. That's all. But it causes a lot of stress, and that's no secret. People are undergoing a lot of stress in so many areas of their life.
So it's a common theme for 2013.
Very common.
I always say 2013 and beyond, because everybody was talking about 2012.
That's right. Everybody thought the world. Well, we knew it wasn't going to end,
right.
but people thought that maybe the world will end, and maybe that's a great thing. Well, it didn't end, but something new is coming in now,
right.
And it's an opportunity for us to embrace this new beginning, in a sense, without trying to be too trite about it. Embrace this new beginning, and how are we going to negotiate our life now moving forward.
Great. And you're involved in another book project that just came out.
Yes, Message of Peace from Hawaii.
Right.
Yeah.
And actually we have a copy right here.
Mm-hmm.
And so we invited 100 authors to talk about 2013 and messages of love and inspiration and hope. Do you want to share a little bit about what you entered and you were picked?
Yeah, and thank you very much, because I'm kind of near the beginning of the book. I appreciate that. What I talked about was the fact that even if the world ended tomorrow, which we all know it's not, but even if it did, from a soul perspective, from a spiritual perspective, it wouldn't make any difference. Because this is only one reality. There's so many realities out there. There are so many worlds, so many, you know, different areas that we, different levels of consciousness. So this is just one. So from a soul perspective, this is a learning place. This is a school. It's great. But even if it ended, we'd be moving on. We're not going to die. I mean, we're going to move on, whether or not we want to or not. We're going to be moving on to new realities, new places, new experiences. It's going to go on forever and ever and ever.
Wow, that must have been amazing. How did you hear about that project? To
Oh.
be involved with 100 other authors and
Through you.
Yeah, well, yes, our email list. And
Yeah, through an email,
Great.
and of course I've been aware of Hawaii Wellness Center for a long time, the directory, and I've been aware of you. So yeah, when you invited me, I thought, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a great service to have that for people.
And if someone wanted to pick up any of your books, do you want to actually show the
Yeah.
covers of Talking to God
This
Without
is
Calling
Talking to
Long
God
Distance?
Without Calling Long Distance. It's both in a written form and also audiobook, because, yeah, there we go there. It's through Amazon, the usual channels.
And if you're in Hawaii, there's a store called
Sedona in Ward Center, where I do my spiritual counseling. They sell it there. You can contact me directly through my website. Or, So.
And since you have those abilities to talk to God without calling long distance, someone can actually do a intuitive reading or counseling with you over the phone. They don't have to
Absolutely,
be in person.
phone, Skype. Yeah, I do a lot of Skype sessions now.
Wonderful.
And I go to Japan twice a year. I do it with clients in Japan. I don't speak the language. I have a translator.
Yeah, that's
but-
what I was going to
yeah,
ask.
Yeah.
That's great.
I wish I did, but I don't. So, yeah.
You probably know a few words now from being over there.
Arigato.
Yes. Very good.
Gozaimasu. Yeah, I know a few.
I'm living in
but yeah,
Hawaii.
but yeah, a little bit.
Great. Is there anything else that you would like to share about, you were talking before, just that we come down and we actually are making our own reality. That's sometimes hard for people to, when we have our learning lessons, we say, oh, we created this.
Right. Well, one of the ways I like to talk about it is something that Shakespeare said. Shakespeare, who by the way was a spiritual teacher. A lot of people don't know that, but he was actually a really high level spiritual teacher. And he said that all the world is a stage, and we are merely players or actors on it. Okay, so all the world's a stage, meaning that this is a story. This is, and we are not only acting in the story, we are not only on the stage, but we wrote the story, and we created all the characters in the story. So if we have an arch enemy is our overbearing mother, well, don't blame your mother, because you created your mother. You created her to have her in your story. Yeah. So that we are not a victim. We are the creator. Right.
Can we say that we were in a hurry when we,
We were what?
We were in a hurry when maybe
Yeah.
we would play on that.
Yeah.
With some of
Yeah.
the life lessons that we have coming in.
Yeah. So one of the things that people, I think one of the really key things here is for people to not see yourself as a victim. Is that you're creating everything. You're creating your story, and you can change it. If you don't like it, you can change it.
And there's wonderful healers like you
Mhm.
that, if someone is being stuck or,
Right.
have some blockages of, I would like to change this, but I really don't know how.
Right.
They can, get advice from
Mhm.
you or do some sessions. And
We,
work.
people like me, we help give perspective. We help maybe bring clarity to what may seem fuzzy. It's like not being able to see the forest for the trees. So when you're spiritually aware, let's say, you maybe you can go to the top of the mountaintop and you can see below the big picture. Whereas when we're in it, including people like me, when we're in the middle of the forest, we can't see necessarily, right? So we need to climb up, and it helps to have counselors, support group people who can see the big picture. Yeah.
That's great. That's helpful.
Yeah.
There's so many amazing people in Hawaii.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
This is a real mecca for healers
Healing
and
and
aware
aloha.
people. Yeah, and the aloha. Yeah.
Yes,
absolutely.
and we're having our launch party coming up for the Messages of Peace book. So
Yes.
the nice thing is that all the authors get to network with each other and and support each other.
Yes. Yeah.
And share ideas and
Yeah.
thoughts and things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So.
yeah.
Well, how would someone get in touch with you if they'd like to either purchase your books or have some sessions with you?
BrianSamoRoss.com is my website. Very simple. BrianSamoRoss, SAMO.com. I don't know if you can see it here, but Brian Samo Ross. Might be a little small. Or through Sedona in Word Center. I also have a blog, briansamoross.wordpress.com, and I write about whatever, anything from spirituality to politics. I just write whatever I feel like it.
So, and if someone had a burning question, they can always email you.
Always email me. My email is on briansamoross.com. You can. It's easier to just go to my website. It's easy. Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing all your wisdom and knowledge. I'm very excited for your new book to be coming
Thank
out.
you. Thank
So,
you
thanks
very
for
much,
coming
and
on.
thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.